Good morning. Happy Friday to everybody. It's about 9:42 a.m. here in Northern California, and we've been actively selling insurance for the last few hours. I'm happy to say that every day God blesses us with tons of people to talk to about funeral insurance. And, if you have people to talk to every day, and people that are genuinely interested in talking to you and me about funeral insurance, you're going to make a whole lot of money. That is just a fact. Doesn't take a scientist, rocket scientist, to do the math. Bottom line, if you have people calling you every single day looking to talk to you and me about a final expense policy, you're in the driver's position, you're in the winning position more than anything. And here on a Friday, again, I'm going to ask all of you that come and watch my content, where is your next piece of business coming from? Where are you generating that policy from? Where? A lot of you guys just don't have activity, don't have it. And so far today, it's only, a couple hours. Our phones are on fire. And if you notice here on my screen, you see the green, this is an inbound. Yesterday, we got over 1,300 calls, unique calls of people looking for what? Funeral insurance, final expense. And we got thousands of landing pages. We're running all types of marketing. Our job as a marketing organization is to generate traffic. And then our job is to train people to sell the insurance. And believe me, the quality of our lead system is numero uno. And if you don't believe me, send me your license, come and see what we do, see for yourself. And what you're going to realize is that every single one of these agents that joins my team, not one of them is closing less than 20%. That's not BS. Those are facts, backed up by hundreds, if not thousands, of audio recordings of people and agents over the years selling insurance. But today I have Felecia Dawkins, and Felecia Dawkins has been nothing but a pleasure to work with. She is a new agent trainee here with Senior Life Insurance Company. And more than anything, she's also working with Thomas Mullen. So she is a direct agent with Thomas Mullen. And again, it's been nothing but a pleasure to work with Felecia the last couple of weeks. And with that said, Felecia, can you share with everybody a little bit more about your background and your just experience in the insurance business?
Sure. Um, well, I've been doing insurance since 2020. I tell people I'm like the pandemic baby, right? Because that's when I started.
Mhm.
When everything got shut down, I started my training and everything. And I've had a lot of experience on the life insurance side, a little bit on the health side, but mostly on the life insurance side. And one thing I have to say, as far as the quality of leads here, far surpass any other company I've written for, period. Hands down. There's no question about it. The quality of the lead, the system that you have for everybody to follow. If you follow the system, you will get the results. Okay. And if you don't, then you won't. And that's what I've learned that way too. So, sometimes you have to learn the hard way, right? And you have to go out there and make your mistakes. But what I found is that the system works. And so the more I follow the system, the better the results are.
And when you talk about the lead system, can you be a little bit more specific about what you mean in terms of that? So, people get bombarded every day, right, with marketing
Right.
companies and
Right.
It's
Well,
always how they're doing the best of this, right?
right. Well, the lead system here, you have people calling in to you. These are people that are already motivated. People already have this on their mind. They need the final expense. They want the final expense. And so that's like, you're like way ahead of the competition because of that fact. And these are true leads. These are people that are really calling. This is not a callback system. This is not a transfer from someone that was solicited. We called them. They're calling us. And so that makes a big difference. That person has this on the top of their mind right then, right there. They're responding to the ads, responding to the advertising that we have out there, and then they're calling in. So that's one thing. But the other piece of that puzzle is the actual system that you, Laurel, have put in place that helps us to be able to make that sale. Okay. That to me is key. The lead system is great, but you gotta have a system when that person pushes back and they start to give you all types of reasons as to why they don't want to do it today or whatever. And so you have actually had a lot of years of experience doing this, and it shows in the system that you set up.
And that's what it comes down to, systems and having good quality leads.
Yep,
And I've always understood that. That's why every one of the agents that we contract here, ladies and gentlemen, if they're following all the same playbook, because we know that this system is going to give us our highest closing ratios, or we know is going to give us our highest retention ratios, period. And here's an example of an insurance company that we did telesales for about 2 years before COVID. And as you can notice here, 85% first year persistency is unheard of for most telephone operations, not to mention door knocking operations, 85% as a group. And we've been able to accomplish these high retention numbers with every single insurance company we've worked with over the years. Why? Because of the system that we're using, the process that we're following, and not just myself, because I sell insurance as well, but everybody else. In fact, this morning's meeting, I kicked off the training with what, Felecia? Me making a presentation.
absolutely.
As a
Leading
leader,
leading by example.
amen. As a leader, I believe that the best way to show somebody else is not so much telling all the time, but showing. And that's our style here. And now let's take a look at our numbers, ladies and gentlemen. One, I want to take a look, at what a profit is per policy. Because sometimes you guys get into your feelings. A lot of agents get anxiety, get PTSD, but you guys need to really reframe your thinking and remember how lucrative this business is. So for this example, we're going to say that Felecia is on 100% contract. Okay. So on average, she's going to get 100%. And that's including GI products, graded products. So we're going to throw them into the mix. So 100%. So if she sells a policy for $88, which is our typical policy these days, at 12 months, that's an annualized premium of 1,056. So if she's getting 100% of that first year, then it's safe to say that she's going to get a 75% advance, which is $792. Is that safe to say, guys?
Yes.
$792. Whether she gets paid on issue or she gets paid when the policy draft goes through, within 30 days from today, if this policy places, you're going to get $792 advanced to you. Now, when the agent follows our system, our process, our methods, works our leads, we guarantee them a 20% conversion ratio. And what does that mean? Well, out of every 5, we guarantee you a 20% conversion ratio, which is 1 application. 5 leads costs you $50 each. That's $250. And we agreed that 790, right, is what you would get advanced, minus the 250, which is your acquisition cost, right? Doesn't include all of your costs, but it's a pretty significant one. Then what is your net profit here, ladies and gentlemen? Felecia, that's $540 after you cover your costs. And to all of you guys watching this, what business that has this margin at 20% closing ratio, what do you consider this to be in terms of profits? That's a pretty significant investment of $250, and your return on that is approximately 540. That's at 20%, and we guarantee that if any one of you guys follows this program, this training, you're going to close 1 out of every 5. And this is the margins that you're looking at if you're averaging 100% every time. Now, with that said, let's talk about Felicia's numbers, because talk is cheap. Felecia, how many leads did you work from last Thursday to this morning, 30 minutes ago?
15.
15 inbounds. Your cost was $750, okay?
Correct.
And out of those 15, how many did you close?
7.
7 applications, which means that you closed at roughly 46, 47%.
Mm-hmm.
So, ladies and gentlemen, listen to that for a minute. Felicia's out in Chicago, in the Windy City, working from her home office, I believe. She might be in a storefront. But the
No, I'm
bottom
in my home
line,
office.
there you are. You're in your home office, and she's plugging into our program, working leads of people calling us every single day. And she just started with us within the last couple weeks, if that. And she's still in training. In fact, she shows up every day and she participates in our training, actively participates. And what happens with that? Her skill set is getting better and better and better. So again, congratulations on the success that you're having. Truly, there's nothing stopping you from catching up to Thomas Mullen. The only difference is that he works 10 to 13 hours a day. And also his follow-up is 3 times what you see my follow-up. You understand? So by following up on people, doing policy reviews, what you're going to find, ladies and gentlemen, is a lot of money in the form of relationship marketing. And that right there is huge. Because when you get into relationship marketing, the husband and wife that didn't buy originally, the family member that needs insurance, you really open up the doors to tons of leads that cost you nothing but your effort. So again, if you're watching this, you have 5, 6, 7 states. You're struggling every week. You're selling 1 application a week, 2 applications a week. If you're doing that part-time, that's a great accomplishment. For example, we have Eric Cisneros. He works full-time as a delivery driver, food delivery driver for a well-known company. And he has 1 day a week that he can dedicate to this. And he gets a couple hours during the day to dedicate to this. So if he sold 1 to 2 applications a week, that's significant for him. But if you're calling yourself a full-time life insurance agent and you're selling 1 or 2 a week, I would be embarrassed to call myself a full-time agent. You might need to look at this opportunity, maybe humble yourself down a little bit and understand that you need help. And sometimes you just need to follow a system that works and we got it. But more importantly, we have the most important part of the puzzle: leads, ladies and gentlemen. We got thousands of leads. So hit me up. We'll get you on a contract that's fair, as we're direct to the carriers. Peace.